Episode number 182.
Hello, you're listening to the Career Changemaker podcast. Having the courage to leave a career that you have worked hard to build and try something else can be tough. So in each episode, we dive into key career change strategies so that you have a clear understanding of what is required to transition into a new role or a new industry without feeling like you have to start at the bottom or have to take a massive pay cut, because ain't nobody got time for that. If you are ready for frank and honest discussions about how to become a career change maker, keep listening. I'm your host, lawyer turned career strategist and executive coach, Janine Esbrand. Hello. I'm jumping on to talk about how lack of alignment in your career is costing you thousands, tens of thousands, maybe. What I see as a pattern time and time again is that people say, I want to make a move. I want to do something different. I'm not happy where I am. I want to do something different. I'm frustrated. I feel overlooked. I feel undervalued. I feel like I am stuck. All of those things. I want to make a move. So people have a desire to make a move. They have a desire for change. But then when it comes to actually taking action that is going to lead to change, there is resistance there. There's resistance. So either people know what they need to do, but they're not taking the action, or they don't know what they need to do, but they're not getting the support. So what I see is people going round and round in circles saying that they want to change, but they're not making any moves, but then still sitting in the result of being in a situation where you're not aligned in the work that you're doing. And so I want to talk a bit about the results and what happens when you just stay where you are, even though you know that you need to make a move or a change. Sometimes you could be in a role and you know that it's not working for you. Maybe you don't actually have to go and move and do something else. Maybe it is that you need to make some active changes where you are, put some boundaries in place, assess the situation, adapt the way that you're working so that things can change. But either way, whether it is making a change where you are or is it making a change to step out, a change is required. Otherwise, you're going to keep experiencing what it is that you're experiencing. And when there is lack of alignment, and when you are feeling those things, when you're feeling frustrated, when you're feeling like, is this it? There must be more to life than this. When you're feeling that way, those feelings have to go somewhere. Those feelings have to be channeled somewhere. The energy that you are experiencing has to go somewhere. So what happens is you go to work and you put the face on, right? You go to work and it might be working from home. So you might be putting the face on when you jump on Zoom, or you might be putting the face on when you go into the office where everything seems fine. People ask you, how are you? Oh, I'm good. How are things going? They're going really well. How did you find that project? Oh, it was great. How did you do that? It was fine. Fine, great, good, that high pitched, yeah, it's great. Where really, the real is that's not how you actually feel. We say these things, but it's not how we actually feel. So then what happens? What do you then do with the real feelings? So outwardly, we're saying everything's fine. Outwardly, we're saying the work is great. Outwardly, we're saying we enjoyed the project. But what happens on the inside? We're frustrated, irritated. But then where does that go? What often happens is the people that you love, the people who are closest to you, the people who you go and spend time with at the end of your day, those are the people that experience the real emotions. So the outside world, the work world, they get the polished version, or this is how I should feel, this is how I should speak, this is how I should be showing up version. And then the people who are closest to you get the real version. So what that looks like is getting irritated with your children. It looks like having not much patience with family members who want to have a conversation with you. It looks like chewing your spouse's ear off over something small that they may have done, but actually it turns into a bigger thing because you're coming from a place of irritation. There are so many times where when I finish working with clients inside of my program and we wrap up and they're able to really transform their work life, they're really able to move into a new role, or they're able to get that pay rise they were looking for, that promotion they were looking for, they're able to identify what it is that they want to do, that they come to me and they say, thank you for your support. And my husband also says thanks. My husband also says thanks. Why is it that they say that? Why is it that they say my husband also says thanks? Their husbands are saying thanks because they are no longer going to them complaining. They are no longer chewing their ear off every single day about issues that happened at work and they're not doing anything about it. Because you know the conversation goes, well, I'm not enjoying it, or this person said this, or this is how they treat me there, or this is how it happens. And then the response from the spouse might be, well, why don't you just leave? Or why don't you just look for another job? And it's like, well, no, I couldn't do that. I can't do that. So then you just get into this cycle of just complaining. It's like I'm complaining, I'm irritated, but then I'm not doing anything about it. So it's okay. Yes, you can be in that cycle, but just recognize that those people around you don't always want to be in that cycle. They don't always want to be in that cycle. And that's why when people are saying, my husband says thanks, is because he's saying, oh, I now have my wife back. My wife who's not coming to complain about what's going on. My wife who's no longer irritated. My wife who is no longer chewing my ear off. So I want us to be thinking when we are deciding and making decisions not to take any action and not to do things differently, know that it not only affects you, but it affects those around you. It doesn't just affect you, because those emotions that you're feeling, they have to go somewhere. So whether that is ranting, whether that is you just expressing how you're feeling in random situations, it's going to come out somewhere. So that is a cost of not being in alignment in your career. It's you feeling the way that you feel and doing that consistently and continually, and it impacting the relationships you have around you or the relationship that you have with yourself. So that's one thing that I wanted to talk about. And then the other aspect of being in a place where there's no alignment between who you are and how you want to show up in the work that you do is that it's not going to be possible for you to truly get to the place where your earning potential is fulfilled when you're not in the right role. And here's why. All of that irritation that you're feeling, that frustration that you're feeling, that boredom that you're experiencing, all of that takes energy. It takes some of your capacity. So all of the energy that you need to put into putting your mask on, that energy that you need to put into showing up as if you're fine when you're really not fine, that takes something from you. That takes energy. So because it's taking energy, you can't use that same level of energy to redirect into you putting your career development plan in place, into you being strategic about how you're positioning yourself inside of your organization or inside of your industry, into you seeking out opportunities so that you can be doing more aligned work or that you can be working with the types of clients. So we've got lots of people who are coasting, who are just doing the bare minimum to get the job done because they're not really enjoying what they're doing or they're not really feeling like they're aligned in their role. When actually, when we have the right people in the right positions, we could then have more people pushing towards leadership where change can be made and where more impact can be felt, right? So if there's a lack of alignment here and you are just coasting, just know that there is opportunity cost to that. There's opportunity cost because where you could be making more of an impact, where you could be climbing the ranks, where you could be making more money, you're not, because you're spending time here in a place of frustration, in a place of overwhelm, in a place of boredom. So I'm saying all this because it's really important for you to think about, where is it that I want to be? Where do I want to be and what do I want to experience really? Because when people say, you know I want to make a move, I do want to make a move, but then they're not taking the action, and the action could look like them actually sitting down and deciding what they want to be doing next. It could look like getting the right support and hiring a career coach to guide you through a step-by-step process so you can get the clarity. It could look like learning how to position yourself on LinkedIn, learning how to become a thought leader in your industry, learning how to make sure that you are seen and you are visible amongst the right people. When you're not doing those things, when you're not taking those steps, you're not going to get to where it is you could get to or where you really should be. So I'm saying all that to say it is important to recognize the opportunity cost for the decisions that you're making or the decisions you're not making when it comes to your career progression and your career advancement. So if you've been saying the same thing time and time again for the last few months or even years, but yet you're still in the same position, if you've been saying, you need to make a move, but you haven't been doing it, then the question is, why not? Like, what is holding you back from moving forward? And then when you identify what that is, how can you be approaching it differently? If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe to the show so that you don't miss any future episodes. Also, I would love to know what your biggest takeaway has been from today's episode. Come over and join us in our Career Changemakers community over on LinkedIn so that you can join the conversation there. Head over to lightbotscoaching.com/community and it will take you right to the group. I look forward to seeing you.